I was 22 years old when this happened. I had just graduated from college and was in between jobs. To make some cash, I was doing odd jobs in my small town, babysitting, house cleaning, running errands, basically anything that paid in cash. One day, I got a call from a man named Craig. He said he'd be traveling for a week and needed someone to stay in his house to look after his golden retriever, Max. Craig explained that Max was anxious, and he did better when someone stayed overnight. The pay was more than usual, so I agreed. When I met Craig, he seemed normal. A tall man in his late 40s wearing wire-rimmed glasses and a windbreaker. Friendly but not creepy. His house was on the outskirts of town, tucked away in the woods. The place was nice, but a bit outdated. Beige carpeting, floral drapes. He showed me everything. How often to walk Max, where the spare key was, and what food I could eat. He said I could use the guest bedroom, right off the living room. The first 2 nights were routine. I walked Max, watched TV, and slept in the guest room with Max at the foot of the bed. But on the third night, things changed. While lying on the bed browsing my phone, I noticed something strange. On the dresser sat a digital alarm clock. It looked too new for the rest of the room. Black plastic, bright blue LED numbers. Everything else in the room was old-fashioned. I took a closer look. Just above the numbers was a tiny black pinhole. At first, I thought it was a sensor, but the angle told me otherwise. It was pointed straight at the bed. My stomach dropped. I picked it up. It was heavier than it looked. Inside, I heard a faint buzzing, like a tiny fan. I stared into the pinhole and realized what it was: a hidden camera. Just then, Max jumped up and began whining. And that's when I heard it. A door closing somewhere in the house. Not the front door, somewhere inside. Craig wasn't supposed to be back until Sunday. It was only Wednesday. My entire body froze. Then footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming down the carpeted hallway. I panicked, put the clock back on the dresser, and rushed to lock the bedroom door. The footsteps stopped right outside. Then Craig's voice came through, calm but breathless. He said he had forgotten something and asked me to open the door. He told me it wasn't what I thought, that the clock was just a motion detector for the dog. He said he didn't want to scare me by telling me about it earlier. I didn't answer. Craig's voice grew louder, more demanding. He began pounding on the door, yelling at me to open it. Max barked furiously at the door. I looked at the window. It was low enough to climb out. My hands shook as I unlocked it. Craig shouted that if I didn't open the door, he'd use the spare key and call the police, claiming I broke into his home. I didn't wait. I shoved the window open, climbed out, and dropped onto the lawn. Max barked and clawed at the sill but didn't follow. I ran across the yard, down the gravel driveway, and out to the road. From there, I called my mom to pick me up. While waiting, I hid behind a stack of mailboxes. Every sound made me flinch. When my mom arrived, I jumped into her car and didn't look back. The next morning, I blocked Craig's number and called an attorney, but without evidence, no recording of the camera, no photos. It was just my word against his. The lawyer advised me not to go back, so I didn't. I never got paid for the 3 nights I stayed. The woman who recommended me to Craig stopped replying. I never found out if she knew anything about him. For weeks, I had nightmares. Every night, I imagined opening my eyes to see a hidden lens staring back at me. Even in my own apartment, I began checking clocks, smoke detectors, and picture frames, and the thought still haunts me, that sound of a door closing on the 3rd night. What if Craig had been in the house the entire time, watching me through that camera?